Leroy Jenkins.
Why are people immortalizing
Hello,
that idiot?
everybody. We are here. Oh, that was very racist, but we are here. Heroes Unleashed. Yeah, it is. It's good that everyone is joining us. We have Orion, Crimson Sage, who is blissfully in the dark. All I see is the scraggles of your
I'm
head.
just burnt.
Patch Morgan, Seraph. Yikes.
Not for nothing, guys. I'm just roasting over here with this goddamn.
Run.
Yeah, it is. Just
Run away now.
scary stuff.
They're
Yeah.
crazy. They're all crazy.
They are crazy. All right, so last time on Sailor Moon,
What the fuck?
He swallowed Khan.
I say, look,
Orion, Morgan, and Crimson Sage were doing their research, and so was everybody else for some reason. Everyone's researching. There's a bunch of nerds in this particular session. Nerds, I say! All right, this is Heroes Unleashed. Let's get started.
Nerd
that was a
flex.
short intro.
That insulted so many fucking people.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nerds! Okay. So, Crimson Sage, you were trying to reach out to the archaeologist that had discovered the tablets with a strange writing that was estimated to be approximately 4,000 years old, and doing some research, some quick research, because his name is on a paper, a very unread paper. It's not very widely regarded because it has no real citations, and he was not able to prove any of the hypotheses as to its origins. His name is Hans Dieter. He is Hans Dieter. He is an archaeologist that is now working for the Berlin Museum. I don't know what the conversion, what the time jump is from Berlin to LA. Time difference. Okay. Let me try that again.
Spoiler alert, he's the bad guy.
So it's a 9-hour difference. It is currently, if you look at the opening page, which I hope is still there and not, okay, well, yeah, do that differently. Move that off and put us back. There we go. Yeah. So it is 9 a.m. You guys had called it a night, and the new day is afoot. Not a hand, but a foot. The
Indubitably.
agents.
That sleep thing humans do.
Right. The agents are back at at HQ. Morgan, you're still given a temporary pass, but you are not allowed to bring your Geiger counter ever again.
I leave it in the car.
All right. They take extra security precautions when scanning you. Make sure you're not carrying any contraband. And the assistant director is not currently in the office, but Special Agent Rivers is. She is in her office, sees you guys coming in off the elevator, and comes over and comes out of her office. She offers you a terse good morning. She says, "I'd like a status report, if you please, Agent Sage, Agent Crimson Sage."
Yeah.
Says I have to update the assistant director. He is currently en route to Washington to brief the head of NIS.
Oh, we don't have any further updates. I should be receiving my package soon, and you have not given me word as to whether or not we can provide the sensitive information that we received to Mr. Acosta. And the last thing was to ask you permission, which you've already given, in order to kind of sit down with the archaeologist. So
Okay, and what's
that's pretty much it at the moment. I
What's the
think.
status for that? So you can you're.
Status.
She said, well, before you even once you relay that, she says, yeah, you've been given clearance to provide Mr. Acosta with below classified level information. Anything that is marked as highly classified is going to be redacted because he is a civilian and he's a civilian contractor. Even though he has military clearance, his current operations run contrary to a couple of the agencies in Homeland. So while not a threat, and he is a former Air Force pilot, he still has his clearance. The nature of his particular business, like I said, it runs contrary to a couple of the agencies within Homeland, so we can only give him certain information. That's going to be left at your discretion. And
Okay, so I assume she hands me the file that I'm going to be able to pass over to Mr. Acosta
she does.
with the redacted stuff that's be cleared.
Yep.
So I'll take that in hand. I'll make my way to the mailroom to see if the package has arrived. If it hasn't, I will give Mr. Acosta a call, see where his current whereabouts are in order for me to provide him this information.
Okay. Well, he would be at home, so
Don't know that.
I mean, the only way you can get in touch with him, you have his card, you have his contact information. That's really the only way to get.
Yeah, we'll call him.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm going to the mailroom first.
Okay. What are you going to the mailroom for? Just to refresh my memory.
The package that's coming from home.
Okay. Has not yet arrived, but it is en route when you do the tracking. So it could arrive at any moment. And
Okay.
yeah, so I mean, the mail guys are just like, sorry, we don't have anything for you yet,
Okay.
but we'll
So
alert you as soon as it arrives.
Thank
And
you, gentlemen.
Please get that dog out.
At that point, I'll walk out. I'll give Mr. Acosta a call.
Okay. So for Mr. Acosta, you receive your phone starts to buzz.
What time is it?
It's 9 a.m. So you're up with your kids eating breakfast.
I answer the phone. Hello? Hello?
And he's frozen.
Oh, it's not me?
Oh.
He must have Verizon.
Ah, God.
You got Telemexico.
2 chihuahuas have stopped moving.
Ah, he murdered
They
the
caught
poor
strokes for the
chihuahuas.
heat. They got to replace them.
There we go. He just. Oh my God. That's hilarious. Seraph, we did go over briefly what some of the results of your searches were, right? In the last game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me see.
While we wait for
Yeah, we covered
Air
the basics of the GSTF. Officer Johnson, Morgan Cornwallis, the Simmons family, which what little I could get about them. Dr. Vanderbilt, we already had covered.
Mm-hmm.
I do look into his research more because that's really interesting.
Okay.
Um, yeah.
I think we talked about this, but just as a reminder, to get to his more sensitive,
Oh, right,
information,
right. There was a
you
more
had to-
info. Yeah, yeah.
you had to break into
Okay.
his systems. So you hadn't confirmed or declined whether or not you were going to do that.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that because I don't have the skill set for that.
Okay.
I can help
Trying
you
to-
if you want. Just gotta
Trying
ask.
to learn.
Well, he hasn't.
Well,
I don't
you-
think he's even told you about that. That he's about that research.
Yeah, I looked into that, and aside from that, I guess I'm going to. Oh yeah, I was watching hacker movies.
Okay. None of them were remotely accurate. Like some took swipes at it at what logically would pertain to the art of the science of hacking, but most of it was just movie magic. You were
I
able
see.
to ascertain that by just looking at it and seeing what they were saying, whether or not the I's and the O's matched what they were talking about, and a lot of the stuff was just hyperbole and fantasy.
Oh. So, that's just that.
Yep.
All these movies that they make about people hacking, they are false.
It's just showmanship. I mean, there's a grain of truth to it, but for the most part, it's all bullshit. I mean, if they went around showing everyone how to actually hack the whole world, to be doing it.
I want to learn hacking.
I could show you. It's not that hard. Actually, it's rather simple.
This would be good. I wish to learn more about Dr. Vanderbilt.
I do too.
His network is secured after a certain point.
Oh,
Highly secure.
that means he has goodies in there.
I believe he does.
So, wanna go snoop?
Yes.
So right over the table, you hear, I thought we'd had this conversation about breaking into other people's systems. You have
Oh, it's honey. No, it's what you call it. It's a
Fact-
security service.
fact finding, security service. Yeah, I've heard them all. Can we not commit any felonies this early in the morning
Okay.
in front of your children? Impressionable youth, all three of them, looking at Seraph. Maybe
Four. Four.
Four. Oh, yeah, she's like, you know, We,
I'm sorry.
try not
You're
to do
right.
that.
Are we not looking into the doctor's?
I kick him under the
system?
table.
She's like, I heard that.
Yeah, because it's like Kong.
Yeah.
Dad, why did you kick me?
So I said, yeah, Dad, why did you kick him?
It was a spasm in my foot from driving last night. I was just tired.
Oh, there's going to be some spasming. It's just like,
So how you like your coffee, dear?
she's like, don't change the subject. You know what you're doing. So kids, Dad is paying for a shopping trip for us. Yay! Let's get dressed, everybody. Let's go. While we still have some money, pre-lawsuits. She gets up and gives you the stink eye, but it's not like she's not mad, but she's giving you that. Please don't.
I know.
She's like, please don't fuck this up. And she says, and you, pointing to, she's like, you don't let him influence you that much. It's like, don't do that, what you're thinking of that doing. Never mind. And she walks out.
Sorry, guys. Just,
And I have no anthropomorphic face, so
Yes.
I'm just sitting there.
Just deny. Um,
You
so
can
she-
feel your fear.
yeah, she-
No, it's complete confusion because I'm not sure what just happened.
she said, "Oh, by the way, I did finish analyzing that venom. Really nasty stuff. I left the file, and she gives you the file name on your desktop.
Cool. I go look through it.
Okay. It's composed. It is when she broke down the chemical chain. It's composed of 3 of the most venomous of the most toxic venoms in the animal kingdom. Combined, they don't necessarily make a super venom like Orion had described, but you did notice that a particular chain that she isolated and was unknown, but it's similar. It has that similar radioactive element that you guys were finding, that you guys have been finding at these locations, and that you, Patch, and we're talking with not Seraph. I'm looking at freaking all these pictures that keep switching around. It's pissing me off. Get your burro in order. The conference room meeting that you had with the other GSTF members, and they were talking about magic and all this other shit, which your character is not necessarily familiar with it. Yes.
Magic?
Yeah.
No, not
just-
outwardly.
Yeah. You know the term. You've seen David Copperfield. You know it's fake. You were able to break his shit down, but for the most part, magic as a reality engine, no, you've never really experienced that. So that radiation is the same from the restaurant.
All right.
It's in minute traces, and she noted in a note. She said it's rapidly breaking down, and thus breaking down. It broke down that poison to make it inert.
So it was holding it together to make it potent, but then now it's
It was holding
When
it together to use the toxicity of all 3 as a sort of a super virus.
and then when it degraded, it just fell apart.
Correct.
All right. So this is short-lived radiation. How long did it take for it to degenerate?
About 6 hours.
Oh, it's not that short. Well, it's short-lived enough.
Mm-hmm.
I
It wasn't
look at the file
exposed. It wasn't exposed to any elements. You guys had to see it. It was when you collected it. Assuming that you put it in some sort of sealed container. She was able to analyze it with one of those.
You put it in a Cheetos bag.
Yeah. Oh, well, then it's definitely
Mass
broken down.
It's protected forever.
That's when I use the McDonald's.
The
The
cheeseburger.
burger, just put it in the burger.
Yeah, it should be
Yeah,
in the
then it's
burger.
protected forever. Yeah,
Nah,
yeah.
then-
I
then
actually
it's
look at the file
it's
and
immortal.
I look at the file and compare it to anything I have on file via chemical analysis. Just looking at the
The
details.
toxicology shows it. Once you look at the first 3 chains that are known elements, you can see they reference to the specific animal that those specific toxins are native to. Beyond
All
that 4th chain is that radiation that you guys can't quantify yet.
All right. Well, I'm gonna keep that information stored, so if I come across it again,
Okay.
I'll instantly recognize it.
Okay, doke. Are you guys doing anything before I move back over to these guys?
So the information I got now is more detailed than I got the other night that I gave that dude, that I gave Orion
Right.
the night before.
Well,
Okay.
she was working on it while you were out in your meeting,
All right.
and now
So
is
what
spending
I'm-
your money.
I sent Orion a text.
Okay.
Let him know that I got more information on
Great.
the
because calling him is
100%.
useless.
Yes. Well aware of that. I text him that information that I got more detailed breakdown of the compound he gave me.
Okay. You received that, Orion. I should. When you guys are texting each other or calling, I don't need to be the go-between. Just assume that you're as soon as whoever's finished talking about the text that they send you has already sent it and you've received it.
All right. I'll go ahead and send my thanks to him for the information.
So you're sending him the entire breakdown of.
That's what he wanted, right?
Okay.
I encrypt it. I give him the SSH key for the encryption, and I send it to him.
Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure you weren't holding anything back.
No, there's no reason to.
Okay.
That's what he asked me to
I
do,
mean,
right?
he is blue. I would be suspicious.
I deal with the government.
Okay.
Steve, you got a ring from me.
Yeah, so I'd send a thank you to him.
Okay, and now you get that ring from Crimson Sage.
I answer the phone. Hi, hello.
Well, Mr. Acosta,
Hi, how you doing?
this is Sage.
You guys don't sleep?
Thank you. Yourself?
I'm fine.
Not apparently not with this case. We have gotten the okay to
Spying in.
Okay.
We have gotten the okay to include you into the information that I was asking for, and I have in hand that I'm supposed to give to you. Where can I meet you?
You know what? Last time I invited you guys to a spot, you guys blew it up. So yeah, why don't you tell me where to meet you?
That's funny.
I mean, it took you what, 2.5 hours to get here?
All the way down there, yeah. So find some place in between. I mean,
Yeah. So Google what would be the closest, the midpoint between his place and mine,
Mm-hmm.
and choose that location.
Okay, so you're gonna meet on the side of the road, or like a restaurant, bar. What are we doing?
Whatever
I do well.
spot, you know.
I do well
Porn
with
shop.
food. I'm not taking you to a porn shop.
Oh damn! I didn't hear that part.
I mean, anything that would be public in the area. So you go back.
All right, so I pick a cafe in between here and there. Tell them to meet there.
Okay. All right. So you pick an innocuous cafe that happens to be in the midpoint. So are you and Seraph doing anything else between now and then?
What time is the meeting?
It's 9 a.m. now, so you guys talk.
So what time does he want to? What time do you want to meet, Sage?
Well, it would take you what, approximately an hour to get there. So I would say 10:30. Give you about half hour. What it is you're doing, as well as myself on this end, and then we can meet up. So I can hand you the information, and if you wish to provide assistance, we would greatly appreciate it.
Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. I will meet you there, and I'll see you soon.
Okay.
I am gonna tell Sarah that I will show him how to access. I'll give him the basics on hacking right now as
Mhm.
we're going. Bring the laptop, and if you help me drive at the same time, we can do it both at the same time as we go.
Okay.
I can split my attention between the two things as long as you keep the car from not veering off. Just follow the GPS.
Sure. I can drive.
All right. So that's what we're gonna do. So on the way there, we're gonna try and hack this guy's network, and I'll do the hacking. I'll show him how to do it as I'm doing it.
Hack
I'll make it-
Vanderbilt's
I'll make-
network?
Yeah,
Okay.
Vanderbilt's network. I'll make it like a class as we're going. Since we both got mechanical link, we could probably both at the same time.
A master class on hacking, as shown on YouTube.
Welcome to Skillshare.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, definitely down with that.
So that's what
Okay.
we're gonna do.
So you pack up your what are you bringing as far as belongings, weapons, items?
Oh, it's a simple
anything
thing.
overt that I would need to take note of.
Other than I'm just bringing my laptop. I'm not bringing any. I don't believe I need any weapons,
Hmm.
but I am ex-military, and my wife is a freaking Marine, so I have a knife in my boot, in my strapped to my leg.
Yep.
And other than that, I think that's all I really need.
Okay.
And
All
I
right.
have my body.
And you have you. Okay. So for Morgan, Morgan, Sage, and Orion, the briefing with Special Agent Rivers was brief. Seems extraordinarily preoccupied because she is the et al. CO right now while the assistant director is gone. So she's running through a lot of his tasks as the morning is progressing. She was there at 5 a.m. working and is still working hard. So her answers, her mood, her demeanor is very curt and terse. In other words, steer clear unless you have something pertinent. She's been working nonstop. Are you guys doing anything else before your package arrives, Sage? What and Orion and
I'm gonna
Morgan?
make-
I'm
make
gonna.
a run.
One at a time, please. Let's start with Sage. Go ahead.
I was gonna know about the meeting with the archaeologists.
Okay.
My meeting now with Mr. Acosta, and the fact that I'm awaiting a package that can shed some insight with what we're dealing with. And I want to know if he would want to accompany me with any of those tasks.
Who are you talking to with me?
Orion.
All right.
So
Are you
I'm texting Orion.
as far as the archaeologist is concerned? He has an email from the Berlin Museum. He has an office number. The museum is now closed because it is 9 hours in the future. It's 9. What is that? 12.
6.
It's 6 p.m. over there now. So the museum is officially closed. So reaching his office phone, you get his answering machine, his message, his voicemail, because for some reason my brain was like answering machine, because I was been watching F is for Family and that shit was killing me. So yeah, you get his voicemail, no one picks up, and so he doesn't have any other. There's no way for you to get his actual phone number at this point.
Yeah, just his email and the office number.
Okay, so you're gonna.
Morgan can get it for you.
I'll leave.
He was
a
like,
message
no,
on
I
both.
think I'll not have Morgan hack people. He's not very good at it. So let's
So-
see.
Just
So-
out of curiosity, you were sending me a text while I'm standing right there. I'll just hold up the.
You wasn't standing with me. I wasn't anywhere near you.
No, he went to the mailroom and he's doing that. Hold on.
Unless he came with me to the mailroom.
All right, be right there.
What I'd be doing is continuing my theory crafting on making adjustments to our satellite surveillance to detect the radiation signature.
Okay, did you ask for permission to retask those satellites?
Not yet. I haven't actually tapped into them at all.
Okay.
I'm just figuring out how they should work and if they could theoretically be modified software-wise, not hardware-wise. Obviously, we can't just pop up there and do some things with a wrench.
Oh, if you were a certain
but-
demon that threw a heart into space, you might. Anyway,
But just an idea that there might be some sort of software patch, since they're already capable of detecting radioisotopes,
mhm.
that would allow us to detect this particular type of radiation.
Okay. Unfortunately, without actually getting into the satellite that this agency, which is part of the FBI, has, it's not necessarily a military grade satellite, so it's more for communications. For you, this I'm giving you this because you work for the agency, so inevitably you're going to find this out. For you to get access to a satellite to give you that type of information with the accuracy that you're looking for, it would be a military satellite that you currently do not have the authorization for. So, knowing that, you put what you're going to need to do. The protocol is you have to put together justifiable reasoning why you would need access to that satellite, and then you would need to get the permission up the chain. All of that stuff stops at your theory. So you know what your theory is, you know what you want to do, but now it's a matter of executing to get that.
Yeah, my deal right now though is I'm trying to theory craft so that I could come up with a good proposal
Mm-hmm.
and a reasonable
Okay. So
action.
what, if anything, are you looking from me in order to make that happen, or are you just working that out on your own?
Well, I'm trying to figure out on a theoretical level if I could put a software patch into the satellites, if I got permission, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
to allow it to detect this type of radiation.
Do you have computer programming?
I do.
Okay. So what we're going to do, and I'm unfortunately, I'm going to need to go pick up my kid. So while you work that out, we're going to take a quick break, and you're going to need to make a couple of rolls for your to get that in place. Since it's theoretical, what you're trying to do, because that's not necessarily your forte. You're not. What is your educational background specifically?
Analytical genius. It is my forte.
Oh yes, you are an analyst. Okay, so then never mind. I apologize. You definitely can put something like that together, and we'll come back to some roles and see if you can get that all set in order to install it. Then it's a matter of working on the bosses in order to get the package ready. Okay, so we're going to take a quick break and be right back.
Sad.
Yeah.
You can think angry thoughts.
Looks like he's trying to catch a stroke when he yells.
Yeah, he can't even yell in anger. He's like,
I have a question.
Yep.
If I helped him, would it reduce that penalty?
Yeah.
You'd have to know what's happening first.
And
He's in front of me.
He'd have to tell you what he's doing, because he's literally not able to tell you.
He
what
can't
he's
even
doing.
yell at the anger that he has.
Not to mention, even without that penalty, I still wouldn't be able to make that.
He literally can't tell you what he's doing.
Pobre. Gordito.
Pobrecito. Ay, démelo
I'm
pre-
working on tracking it through science. You're supposed to be working on tracking it through magic.
Magic.
No, not at all. I gave a theory. I'm the theory man.
Sorry. Had a little
Go read
spasm.
your spell books, Ronald.
All right, I don't know what the reference for that was for, but we'll move on.
I have nothing to do with it.
Your first
Ron
attempt.
Weasley.
Your first attempt to do it was unsuccessful. You can't seem to make the program work out the way you want it to. So you're on the right path, but it is still eluding you, and you have to work on it. But unfortunately, if you're going to move with the group, you're not going to be able to work on it unless you stay behind.
I figured it'd be a work in progress.
Okay. Well, no, that's what I meant. You can't
Yeah.
you can't actively work on it while you're traveling with the group, unless you stay behind. Excuse me.
Well,
That was-
Lab work always is in the lab, and field work is always in the field. There's always got to be a separation.
yeah, I think we're saying the same thing. I've only said it 3 times. But
Yeah.
so what are you doing? Are you going with the group?
I'll be going with them. Yeah. I'm gonna leave these two nut jobs to go out by themselves.
Oh no.
Pretty vocal for a mute.
Really?
Yeah,
So
no.
I'm gonna call back and be like, yo, he's not keeping an eye on me.
Oh boy.
He's not babysitting me.
No.
All right. You meet at the roadside cafe, and it is approximately noonish when you do. The cafe is, it's got some patrons, but it's not necessarily full. And you
Got a
all
dust in the corner.
you all pull up. You all pull up, and that same Asian woman is trying to sweep it. Like, these stupid does not go. And
No, they
He showed up here too.
They hired her here.
she's everywhere woman. All right.
Everywhere, May.
Everywhere made, yeah. And that's funny. The server, you find an empty. She just tells you, pick a seat, pick a table, any table. You all together, and then she's like, "Oh, is there a concert going on around here that we should know about? Anybody?"
Concert?
some
How
sort
many
of,
people are here?
Say, is Comic-Con this weekend?
You got a robot and a blue dude.
Well, the robot's not there. He's
Okay.
he's discombobulated.
Incorporated,
But
yeah.
we do see a 7-foot blue dude. And she's like, is Comic-Con coming? Is there some sort of comic book thing, some nerd Star Trek thing that's happening? And she's just talking to the guy who's the barista, and he's just like,
You are going to get so canceled by nerds.
he's just like, man, I don't know. It's like, dude, this is California. That shouldn't strike anybody as weird. What do you have there, Smurfette? So she comes around. I mean, you all take your seat around a large round table, and she comes around with 4 orders, and everyone gives their orders, with the exception of
chocolate.
Orion, who, unless he's going to
I am going to beam chicken fried steak into his head as he's taking my order.
Rude.
Okay. So it's a she, and when you project that thought into her head, she's like, "What'd you say?" I don't say shit. What are you talking about? You sure you didn't ask me for chicken fried steak? Oh, what? So they're going back and forth like an old married couple, even though they're in their 20s. She's like, anyway, I'm sorry. What do you have?
I'll do it again.
Like, who the hell is that?
I'm gonna turn towards him.
I'm gonna now hand her my card.
Like that. Oh. No.
He puts it in his mouth
So,
and he tries to dodge. Remember that?
What?
Adolfo, he tried to dodge with a fucking Desert Eagle in his mouth.
All right, so we continuing, right?
He could do that. But anyway. She's like, what? Wait, so that was you? It's like, I don't think I like that, but I'll get you your food. And then maybe you should leave.
I'm gonna turn towards him and be like, your boss said not to bring any unwanted attention. You just did it.
All right. Those hijinks notwithstanding, you guys are at your meeting. Go.
So, how you doing? That was your trip.
Make eye contact and smile.
It was very well short.
I sneak over under the table.
Okay.
Skeet. No.
I said sneak. Yeah, you are in a whole other dimension there.
I catch you in the eye as you come
He
under.
has no genitalia. Anyway,
So,
go.
Mr. Acosta, thank you for showing up. This is what I was informed to give you.
All right,
If you so,
look
if
over
you
the
so
document.
wish to assist us with this, it would be greatly appreciated.
So I look over the document.
And I look over his shoulder.
Which document are we talking about?
The information that his superior offered up that was low grade classification, low grade classified.
Okay.
Regarding the tracing of the signal. That's pretty
Right.
much what
So it's essentially just a preliminary breakdown of that radioactivity, similar to what you already discovered in that your non genius, your non super genius wife was able to isolate the night before.
All right.
They have a basic breakdown of the radioactive isotopes and how they decay at a rapid rate. All that, everything you already know. So there's not much in that that's more than what you've already gotten so far.
All right. So I look at this stuff. I'm like, damn, we could have just saved time. You could have just told me this over the phone. I already knew all this.
Well, I apologize for wasting your time. I didn't know that.
So what do you want me to do? What can I do for you? Because it sounds like I could get paid well for this. And I'm getting yelled at for not making any money right now.
Okay. Well, that would be discussed with my superiors, our superiors. But nevertheless, what we're looking into is the signatures that keep appearing in different locations regarding events that have already transpired. The Chipotle incident, the incident with you guys, and it seems that there have been others that have been about. Also tied to this, I want to look over the paperwork real quick, and I want to see if it mentions anything with regards to the symbols.
Again, the initial search for those, that preliminary report is almost identical to the verbal that he gave you, because it referenced the archaeological dig. There's not a whole lot more on that specific branch of whatever dialect that it is. So it seems to be pulling from different areas to make one language.
What
So
I mean is that if it's referenced and he can read it, then I'm going to explain to him the relevance of those symbols that he looked at the packet regarding the radiation. You understand? And
okay, so then we can tell him. Don't tell me.
Yeah, tell me.
No.
Tell
No, I'm telling you. I'm going to be telling you, but I'm letting him know where I'm coming from, because I don't want
Why
to break
don't you
protocol.
just talk to Steve?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
This
don't.
interaction.
Have the conversation, dude.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm talking about.
Anyways, as you can see in the document, in the file, this is also tied to some symbol of death that keeps recurring, as well as in the locations of these radioactive signatures.
What, this
So-
hieroglyph right here?
Yes.
Okay.
And we got a lead of which I hopefully can pursue soon enough. Where
So-
we would, right, if you so wish to help, is literally a different set of eyes to come at it from a different angle to see what services you can provide or insight you can provide. We're everybody seems to have a theory with regards to what it is. And me personally, I wouldn't exclude any theory because we don't know what we're dealing with. Right now, our team is working on it. I don't know how long they'll take before they can make a breakthrough. I don't know if you can assist in that breakthrough, and I'm not sure what your skill sets are, but you came supposedly highly recommended by Morgan's friend or Morgan's contact, which would be Detective Johnson.
Yeah, Dr. Johnson.
So this is the reason I'm reaching out to you on behalf of the GSTF.
All right. So I am not a linguist of any kind. I'm also not a theologian, so I couldn't tell you what the symbol is. I mean, I don't know. It could be Sumerian for all hell I know. I couldn't begin to tell you.
Hey Lou,
Yep.
as I'm seeing it, I am immediately looking into it
I am
Like,
going to say I'm
through
going
the
to
web
back-
and the dark web.
One at a time, please. So you're going to do what?
Literally start looking as I see this symbol and I see it's a point of interest. I start researching it on the web, on the dark web, any reference I can find.
Okay.
Basically, I'm doing an image match.
Okay.
I'm going to pull on my Geiger counter,
Okay.
and I'm
What?
also stating that I'm going to check out the bathroom because they're here.
You said that out loud?
Yes.
I checked my gauntlet.
You don't you don't see anything spiking on your gauntlet,
So
and
Check the Geiger counter.
your Geiger counter still nothing moving yet. No,
So
I
I
mean,
look at
like
it
it's just like it's still flatlined.
Okay.
so what do you mean someone here?
So I'm going to motion to them, say it low. The barista looked in the mirror and twitched out for a second. And his eyes rolled back in his head and he's staring at us.
So
Wait. So the barista is looking at us?
So here's what I'm gonna do. Everyone roll a perception. If you fail it, you all turn towards the barista. If you make it, the difficulty is going to be a 15. If you make it, if you don't, you automatically turn to him as he's saying. The barista's staring at us. And everyone's like, "Oh." But if you don't, then you're just gonna, casually look.
Okay, cool.
Seraph
So-
doesn't need to roll.
Yeah, he does no. You're just cooperating.
Yeah. So you can look or not look. It doesn't matter. So Sage,
I used the
would be
glass.
I
on
look.
the-
I look because if I look, I can just show Dad. I can
Yeah.
show Patch.
Okay.
Like that man behind the bar seems to be staring at us with his eyes rolled back in his head.
With his
And
eyes
I-
rolling in the back of his head.
And do I see that?
No, that happened after once he noticed it, because he has the highest perception score, so he would notice virtually everything first,
Oh shit!
and naturally he's like, oh shit, and then start running. Road.
not
Sage, you need to roll perception.
Going to, I wouldn't be able to use my observer awareness, would I?
Not unless you declared it first.
So no, that would be a no. Okay.
Yeah, I was being diplomatic about it.
Okay.
Actually, I have to look up my perception if I have any bonuses.
It'd be your intelligence bonus.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. Now
What's
that
the-
I officially have an IQ,
As in, I'm going to state, Mr. Acosta,
Yes.
we need we need assistance with an algorithm that deals with the cellular towers because magic is a form of radiation. Therefore, it intermittents regular electrical pulses. So that way we could triangulate to see if we could find where these people are.
I mean, I could come up with something.
Dude, how
I
are you
mean,
not finding the perception?
Sorry. Just checking my bonus is only a +2. Oh, give me a second.
Since that time at Chipotle, I've noticed when they appear or they're coming, the lights tend to flicker, which means they're interfering.
That would be a 13, so
Inadvertently.
no, I didn't make
Okay.
it.
So,
the electricity.
so Orion and Sage are like, huh? What's happening? and you can clearly see him staring at you. Like he has his back to you guys, but there's a full length mirror that goes across the coffee bar, and he's staring. He's staring. It looks like he's staring at each one of you individually, but he's basically looking in your direction. Now, Morgan's Geiger counter starts ticking up, and Patch, yours starts ticking up too.
And I'm gonna go. Hey, Blue Boy!
Where's it
No,
coming
it's
from?
radiation.
Wow.
Showing the Geiger counter.
And that's when I say, to use discreetly, Dad.
Yeah, I see
There's-
it. There's
I'm
something going on.
I'm gonna send back to Morgan. I never discounted it being radiation. I discounted it being magical in nature.
And I'm going to
It did say it's one and the same. But
Okay, so here's what happens.
Lou,
Dad.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm going to,
Stop moving.
right, very subtly grab a hold of the hilts of my blades.
Okay.
Yeah,
also
I'm
going
just
to use them. I'm also going to use magic lore to assess the individual that's looking at us to see if I can have any tell signs of him being under magic, some enchantment, some supernatural possession.
Okay.
You know,
Make a roll, please. So stop right there.
Hey,
Before you do that, I'm gonna go one at a time for what everyone's doing. Seraph is already having a conversation with Patch. He's made what would amount to be the action. Morgan is getting up. Are you going to the bathroom? Because you said you were going to do that.
I'm gonna maneuver myself towards the bathroom in case they need my assistance.
I don't know what the hell that meant.
I don't know. I can't even fathom what the hell he meant by
What
that.
does that mean? Are you going to the bathroom or not?
I'm going to move myself to the bathroom so I can
he's
sneak
like-
and wipe their ass.
I am walking towards the bathroom, acting like I didn't see anything.
Okay.
See? I didn't see anything. I'm like, what?
If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. All right. So Morgan, he quietly gets up while everyone's attention is diverted and starts moving towards. He fills your peripherals. So I'm not going to draw the table. So what I'll say is the bottom three. So Orion, Sage, Patch. You have your backs to the bar. And Morgan, the way you guys are situated here, you're in 4 chairs. So Orion would be to the left, so the barista's on your right. Crimson Sage, he's directly behind you. Patch, he's to your left. Morgan, you're facing. Okay? And Seraph, you have 360-degree vision anyway, so that's a gimme. Morgan gets up. He makes his way towards the right because going towards the right of the bar is where the restrooms are. So that's where he's heading. So Patch, you were doing what?
I'm gonna gulp down my hot chocolate and tell these guys, well, I will work on that algorithm you guys wanted me to work on. I think I have something already. I just gotta go retrieve it, and I'm gonna go get that now.
He's like, he's like, well, it's about time to hit the old dusty trail.
Basically, yes.
So you're getting up to leave. Okay, so Sage
Yep.
puts his hands on the hilts of his blades. Orion, what are you doing?
Also making the magic
I'm
lore
gonna-
check.
Okay, so did you make it?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna be first of all writing down the readings from the Geiger counter
Mhm.
since he shoved it in my face,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna prepare like sensory details that we would have to go when the food was here. Just make it look like I'm preparing to pay the check.
Okay. So Sage, because you guys failed the perception check to hold your action. In other words, not just look instinctually. You did, so you saw his eyes. All of you can see Pat, you're giving the crazy Ivan, so I'll say that everyone can see he does the what is it? The typical his eyes, the irises of his eyes suddenly become black and they spread out from the center to the corners. And the barista that was the waitress that was working with him, she's walking by him. She's like, you can hear her say, "Johnny, are you all right? What the hell is that?" As she's saying it, you can see and this is something that Morgan can see first because he's the closest. There's a blue light that's reflecting off of her face and her eyes, and it's getting brighter. And he's covering it with his chest, so you're not able to see it right away. But at a certain point, the lights, because it's daytime, and at a certain point, the light overtakes the daylight that's streaming in from outside. This is Southern California, so there's literally no clouds. And
Question, no.
can I finish my? Okay, let me
Lou
finish. Let me finish my description, and then I'll let you know when you guys can do something. So at a certain point, she's like, "What the hell is that?" And now you can see this bright blue light. Morgan, the blender that's in front of him. You see this swirling blue and white light that's swirling inside the blender. And both his hands are on the side of the glass. Crimson Sage, what are you doing? What's your question?
My question was, can we see that light reflecting off anything off the surface in front of them?
In front of who?
Since our vision right now directly is blocked, is that light being reflected of anything that's behind them or next to them?
The only time that it is when it becomes more luminescent. That's when you can see. That's when you notice it, and you can see her.
But remember, I was actively looking for any tell signs. I'm asking you if I can have a role to perceive that before it gets brighter.
No, because he is actively his body is blocking it, so it won't be until the thing becomes. The word I'm going to use is hyperluminescent, but it becomes like a big LED where the light, the luminescence, it brightens to a point where now you can see it with your naked eye.
It's coming from the blender.
Yes.
That's what's in the blender.
Well, I mean, I'm only describing it to Morgan at this point.
Right, I'm sorry.
As far as the
Sorry.
blender is concerned. So
Right.
Morgan
Yeah,
would
we're
need. What are you
All
doing?
we're seeing is a light reflecting.
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna mace him.
I ain't gonna lie. I made my statement, and I'm definitely getting out of there.
From a distance. I'm gonna mace his ass.
Okay, make a roll, please. All right, so unmodified 20. Is anyone else doing anything?
Seeing
gonna-
the light,
Or one at a time,
seeing
please.
the light that bright, I'm jumping towards the female and pulling her out of the immediate combat range.
Okay, so in order to do that, I will say that the difficulty for that is going to be a 10 for you. So just roll 20, adding any prowess bonus to that.
Sure.
Okay.
With the plus bonus, that would be a 20.
Okay. So Sage immediately jumps to action. Morgan sprays the mace. It would be funny if you're jumping to grab her and the mace hits you in the face.
oh no!
That would be hilarious. If I were inclined to do that, I think I would be okay in doing it. Okay? Just so that we're clear, you're grabbing her and she's directly near him and the spray's coming
That's
towards
fine.
him.
I
So
mean,
he's
I
like,
don't know what his action is going to be. So if I get caught with the
No,
mace,
I'm just
and I
kidding.
get-
No. You saw him do it. You sprung to action. You're able to duck under the stream of fluid. Is it mace or is it pepper spray?
It is mace.
Okay.
You know, what my mother used to spray in my face.
Listen, I didn't
Oh,
bring
that
it.
was just.
I didn't bring it up. Just so that we're clear
Are
for
you
the
sure that
record,
wasn't
I did
raid?
not. I did not bring it up.
raid.
Orion.
Wow.
Oh damn. Orion, what are you doing?
I'm going to be drawing the stun pistol.
Okay. So you take a
And
you
I
take a
am
sketch pad
coalescing.
and a pen,
It-
and you
it-
just
it-
draw
it-
a stun pistol. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
I've always hated that
No,
expression.
if he takes any offensive action, I'm gonna shoot. Right now, I'm just holding it on him and waiting to see what he does.
Okay.
I am coalescing around him, kind of like a smoke.
Around
kind of
Patch?
No, Patch is walking out.
Yes.
He's safe.
Okay.
I'm coalescing around the weird dude standing behind the counter, the weird human.
Okay.
Around him, like a smoke, kind of like, just kind of. That's what I look like in form at the moment. Smoke.
Okay.
So he's Misty.
No, he's Smokey.
Goddamn!
Mist Fog, same thing.
You just got
It's
knocked
yellow,
the
yeah.
fuck
Wow,
out.
what was that from?
That's from a D&D game a long time ago.
That I was running. I remember now.
Yes.
So Lou,
Uh-huh.
the reason why, in my mind, the reason why I maced him was to attempt to subdue him because he's possibly possessed, and my goal is to try to save that person.
Okay. So you do understand that mace is not like a subduing material.
Well, it's incapacitating, and that way I can attack him.
I'm
try to
just
knock
saying.
him
I'm
out.
just saying. Your choice of words were a little.
Right. So just like a police officer, you're resisting arrest. I'm trying to help you.
He's like, stop resisting. He's like, I'm literally
helping you.
I'm literally just laying
so
here.
not only have we alienated the nerds, now we have alienated Black Lives Matter.
They did that a long time ago, bro.
Yeah.
So don't you know we're pro blue?
No, we're not. Anyway,
No.
I'm pro life. Wait.
Yeah, that's. I'm
Trying to save him.
pro not dying by the police. Yes.
He's having a
wow.
seizure.
Okay, so this is how this happens. Morgan gets the first action because he was the one that was closest, and you spray it. It hits him on the side of the face. You can see his eyes close from the right side because that's where you hit him. His face squinches up because that's the chemical interacting with his skin and his eyes. Sage deftly ducks underneath your streamlight, looking at you like,
Like, what are you doing, son?
and grabs her because you can hear the air escape her because you not hit her, but you snatch her from a prone position. She's unaware of your action, so she's like, what the fuck?
And as you tackle her, you see your dog is outside.
I'm not tackling.
No,
not
he's
tackling.
just grabbing her.
He's
So
snatching her. Yeah.
yeah.
He snatched the life right out of her.
She snatched her, and her spirit's just standing there like, dude, this is not helpful. All right, you pull her out. That light starts it starts swirling, but now you can see these sparks, these lances of energies are emanating in it, sort of like a what are those electricity domes? What the fuck are they called?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
You guys know what I'm
Electric-
talking about, yeah.
Yeah,
So
electric
this
dome.
it's just these lances of what looks like electric energy is flowing through it,
Like a Tesla coil.
like a Tesla. Yes,
Is
that's
it
like a Tesla coil.
electromagnetic?
When you get to him, Seraph, you can the only person that would be able to that would see this would be Morgan and Orion as he's drawing his stun pistol and getting ready to fire. This smoke, it just gathers around him, and you guys don't know, but it seems like some other effect is happening because no one knows of Seraph's presence just yet. But as you get closer to him, you feel this it has an electromagnetic component to it as the energy is building. You get to him and you immediately fall to the ground in your component pieces, but it's not strong enough to keep you there. So you're able to move away from that.
Okay.
But your diagnostics are registering an increase of an electromagnetic energy. And at a certain point, so Sage, you were pulling her out of the place.
What I'm doing is, in one swoop, I'm switching places with her. I'm removing her, rolling her behind me,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm positioning myself between it or whatever the thing is happening
Yep.
and the lady.
Okay.
Her choice to keep running.
All right. So,
Lou, what's
yes,
the source point for the EM?
the source point is it's that container.
Okay.
All right. So, as all of these things finally fit into places in terms of the actions, he turns to you, Morgan. You will not stop us. And the thing explodes. I'm gonna roll damage. I'm gonna make a roll. If you roll versus impact, you can half this damage. For Orion, Sage, Morgan, and Seraph, because it's energy.
Let me
dodge?
take a look at my abilities
If you're
real quick.
yes, please do that.
Is there a chance we can jump out the window?
That's what the roll is for. It's an explosion, so you're not gonna be able to dodge it.
Oh,
Question.
Yes.
Can I parry it?
No.
No.
Okay.
I was gonna use it. I was gonna use a skill to, but you said no.
Okay, so only.
Well, tell me the
area-
skill, and then maybe I can rethink it.
can
So
I
It's
hide
called-
under the counter?
Yeah, that's what the
It's
roll
called
is for.
ephemeral strike. The master gains the ability to strike and parry the intangible. Each strike costs an additional attack, and parries also require an attack. The master does not lose his automatic parry for other attacks. Both maneuvers are half bonuses and quarter damage. This ability does not give him the ability to necessarily see his target. So can I use the ephemeral strike to block this
No.
blast?
No, not in this case. No. Okay, so
Alright.
please make a roll with punch and impact.
So, actually, Lou,
yes,
my action is going to be if I am picking up a spike in the energy,
Okay.
my actual action would be to solidify around him and it to contain it.
To solidify around the barista.
Yes.
Okay.
And just basically contain the explosion because Asimov's 3 laws, one of which involves me not allowing harm to come to human beings.
Okay. What you're going to need to do is I will give you the opportunity to make the roll to form around him. However, you cannot use any bonuses. It's a straight 20.
Okay. Let's do this.
Okay. So
Wow.
he's able to, which means that all other rolls with punch and fall, they are automatically successful. So the damage is going to be a quarter because he can't you're not going to be able to contain the entire blast.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so just give me a second here.
I have armored clothes.
It's gonna hurt.
The damage is, and so that means all
13.
right. So 13 points.
Because it would be 12.5
It's 12 and a half, yeah.
at a quarter damage.
All right, so so it's 13 rounded up, but you take the full 50, Seraph.
All right.
Ouch, that hurt.
So you can hear the muffled explosion.
I heard the explosion muffled.
You
Yes.
heard it from outside. Yes, it's loud enough that it sounds like like boom, and it literally shakes the ground where you're standing as you're walking out. So
But it was
you
muffled.
yeah, and you instinctually turned.
I run
and
inside.
You can see this billowing smoke, and people are running in all directions.
Yeah, I go straight towards the smoke.
Okay.
So
I do have a question.
Yes.
Because of the history that I gave you with the living metal from the planet I came from,
Uh-huh.
would this be similar looking to that?
I don't understand what you mean.
The living metal, essentially cells made out of living metal.
No, I get that. I don't understand what you're referencing.
If he's solidifying Seraph, I mean, if he's solidifying around it, that means he's coming into some sort of physical.
Okay, so now I get it because I didn't
Yeah.
understand what you were talking about. So, yes and no. It has similar characteristics, but it is not living. It is definitely not living metal. Not as you know it. Let me rephrase that. It's not the living metal that you know, but it is. It has similar characteristics. Yes.
All right. So with that, I'm guessing that my character would be kind of stunned to find something like that here,
Mm-hmm.
which has been missing from a lot of the technological stuff that my race had.
Okay. All right. For Seraph, you felt that impact. It's not that you know what you don't know pain as a human. That's a given. You understand damage in terms of in terms of eyes and O's as data.
Right.
When the energy spikes outwards, you can feel it attaching to you. It's almost as if it's bonding, not bonding, but it's covering your component pieces because you were in the midst of solidifying, and it exploded outwards. In other words, it seemed like a goop of energy as it exploded, and some of your epidermis was affected by it.
Okay.
Like plasma.
Actually, yes, like a blue neon plasma.
Okay.
What about the individuals around the area, including the one that was right in front of the impact?
There's people on the floor, and the ones that were further out on the outside tables, they were able to get away with just an impact, like what was it called? The kinetic energy as it expanded outwards. The ones closest to, I'd say about there were a half dozen that were scattered about there on the ground. Ears are bleeding, and they're injured.
All right. So, take a quick look to see if I can see the guy that was at the epicenter of this.
Okay,
Because
so
I yet to know who Seraph is.
right, and unfortunately
if I
now
can't see-
he looks like a metal statue. He's with his arms out, like what he was holding the blender.
Okay, so there's no way to assess whether he's alive or not.
No,
So
not in this instant. No.
So I will immediately fall back to my training, and whomever is next to me that I can pull out from this blast, like the ones that are affected, immediately start pulling them away from the crisis center.
Okay. All right. So you're in rescue mode.
And calling in for backup.
Gotcha.
We need ambulances at the location. A blast has occurred. It's somehow been contained. And basically start relaying the information as it's going. As I'm pulling whomever I can pull right now.
Okay. Yes.
So, Seraph is he encased the dude?
When you come back in, you can see what Seraph did to you to protect you. He's now done to this guy. Except he's completely solid. And what you're finding, Seraph, is that you cannot transform right now. It seems as though whatever this substance was is preventing you from separating, and not completely, but it's causing a huge amount of electromagnetic friction. So you're trying to pull yourself apart, but your pieces are just jamming back together.
Right.
The energy itself is rapidly fading. So you're able to do it. You're able to determine it's going to take approximately 45 seconds for you to be able to fully separate and get off of this guy.
45 seconds is like forever, and this is more than enough time for me to literally catalog what's going on.
Okay.
and take note of every detail of it.
Okay.
How it's affecting me, how it's affecting the individual,
Mm-hmm.
what the energy signature is. Just making note of every detail that I can, so I know what to expect, and also matching it to see does it match the radioactive isotope that we've encountered already.
Yes, in a almost lethal quantity. Definitely lethal to biological organisms.
And what are the life signs of this individual?
Terminal.
Lou, so I run up to the thing because at this point I run up to Sarov and I try to, I try to move him like separated. It won't move.
No, and the closer you get to him, the more that the sensor reads. It's starting to read into the lethal radiation. So the closer you get to him, the more radioactivity there is. So you can get the closest you can get to him is within 10 feet.
That's the closest.
Yep. Otherwise, you're in danger of radiation poisoning.
Is it Lou? If there's
Yep.
anybody else around me that's near me as I'm pulling people out,
Mhm.
I'm gonna ask for them to help pull anybody that's right now unconscious or hurt out. of this area.
Anyone that was in the ground zero of that blast can't hear you. All their ears are bleeding.
So signal as I'm pulling them out. If I can wave them down and show them, like pull other victims out.
Okay.
Do that.
All right, Morgan, what are you doing?
I'm gonna.
You hear that that high pitched whine from an explosion, but you can still hear.
Scan the area to see the situation.
Mm-hmm.
If there are
Everything that I
people-
just already described is what you can see from your vantage point, from your point
I'm
of
gonna
view.
grab whoever I can near me and try to take them outside.
Okay, so you and Crimson Sage are working rescue. Patch, you were finishing a thought, and I apologize. Go ahead.
I look at my device.
Mhm.
It differentiates between psychic energy and PPE.
Mm-hmm.
Which one is it?
Psychic.
It's psychic energy.
There is a huge amount of psychic energy right
Psychic
now.
energy.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm just keeping I'm recording the findings
Mm-hmm.
at the level that it's at, and I'm recording it as it's weakening.
Yep. The psychic
recording-
energy isn't weakening. The radiation is.
radiation
The
is?
psychic energy is still very high.
All right. So I'm keeping track of the radiation, and I'm keeping track of the psychic energy. The psychic energy is not moving, right? It's same place where the radiation is.
Correct.
All right. So I'm keeping record of both those things. Now I'm pacing in that 10-foot radius. I'm
Mhm.
pacing all the way around,
Okay.
waiting for it, and I'm not even kidding. The second that it gets like an inch smaller, I get an inch closer.
Okay. Orion.
But
I'm sorry. Go ahead, finish.
no, that was it. Now I'm
Okay.
just pacing around, waiting to get to my son.
So, it's pacing like like a
Like that's
tiger.
what the father would be.
Okay, so Orion, what are you doing?
I'm slowly moving towards. You ever see when somebody sees in movies something that they're amazed by and they sort of bewildered start walking towards it?
Yep.
That's what I'm doing right now.
So he's like, ooh. Okay. For Seraph, once the 45 seconds it's up, that energy is completely degraded to the point where you can separate now. When you, and assuming you're going to separate, yes?
That's if it's safe to do so.
Okay, so the radioactivity is minimal in terms
Okay.
of lethality from where you are. So that's it's completely degraded, and you're able to separate.
Okay, what about? All right, so radiation is down. What am I hearing, seeing, as far as this individual? What am I picking up? He said he was terminal.
Yep.
Is he?
When you
Is there
do,
any-
do you? All right, so I'll. I didn't really see whether or not you could do it, but for now, you do a biological scan. His body is riddled with tumors. More tumors exist in this body than exist in any body that has ever been scanned for tumors in ever. Brain, muscle, blood, tissues, everything. And they're just expanding in his body. He's trying to breathe and struggling to do so. You can hear it. There's a I'm going to give you make a simple perception roll, and I'll tell you if you are able to notice this too.
Okay, give me a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
All right.
There's a delay. So
There
the
is
first one.
his what do they call? What's its clinical term for skin?
Epidermis?
His epidermis. Thank you very much. Is deteriorating, and it's causing a there's a chemical reaction from his skin falling. It's deteriorating and falling off, and there's a inside where you're at. There is a what seems to be a toxic smoke that's emanating it.
Then I have to contain that.
It's a gas. It's essentially converting from the physical matter to a gas.
All right, I am going to swirl around him. And where is the exhaust air? This is a place where humans eat food.
Mhm.
There is usually somewhere where air can exhaust out.
There
Cooking
isn't.
area,
It's
something
an
like that.
it's an open air it's an open air coffee beanery. There is no grill. There is no overhead vent. There's a couple of ceiling fans that were going off, but they're on the fritz.
No air conditioner.
No, like I said, it's open air.
It's open air, so it's
And I transmit. Can I transmit?
Yes.
Dad, get everybody out.
so I start yelling, everybody out right now.
Okay. Well, most of the patrons have been evacuated by Morgan and Sage, which leaves Orion, and which leaves this team on point. Orion seems to be walking towards Seraph.
Yeah,
I'm
I look
literally-
at that and I literally tell dude, I walk over to Orion and like, let's go. I push him out.
and I'm literally being a like a tornado, like a twister around this individual, keeping it. Just
Okay.
Trying to keep this contained.
Okay, so that's
I'm yelling at everybody to get
you
out.
guys are seeing this. It's from that hard metal shell. It's now reconstituted into that what looks like a gas, like a smoke cloud, and it's starting to swirl around them. As it's swirling, there are pockets of like a greenish red, the greenish yellow vapor that seems to be at the center, and you can see the silhouette of the barista as you can see his skin falling off, and he's just standing there. As he's standing there and the skin's falling off, you can see these huge pustule-filled tumors just all explode, like popping as this thing is swirling all around him, because you're essentially accelerating it by doing that.
Do we see that?
I just said you did.
He
No,
just said,
because remember, we're pulling people.
No.
out of
I'm
the
saying you've done that.
They did it already.
Okay.
You've already done that. So now
I'm telling you
you're
guys-
just there.
and I'm telling you
All right,
guys,
so my
And
walk
question-
Patch
out.
is telling you
My
guys to
question-
get out.
Right. So
my
once
question is this.
once everybody is out, I'd have no reason to continue doing this, because
But-
the idea was to keep it contained.
But the team is still here. They're not necessarily listening. He's trying to push Orion out. But remember, Orion's 7 feet. So leverage-wise, you don't have it.
Hey, I got a keto. I could throw him out.
All right, take it easy.
So that's
He's
gonna be
going to
funny.
Steven Seagal your ass. Anybody seen Richie?
Anyone see the blue boy?
Anybody know
I
who killed
wouldn't-
Bobby Lupo?
I wouldn't
Still
be
my
in a
favorite
like
movie.
mental state to resist him at this point. It's just go to the
Okay.
just,
You're
I
in
mean,
shock.
it's the kind of thing of if this is something my character would think it is, it might be something that would enable him to build transport off the planet.
He's
Keep
just
in
like,
mind,
I could leave now.
keep in mind, he's been crash landed and stuck here
It's like,
uh,
I
for,
could go
for
home.
about 30 years.
All right. Well, but Patch.
Blue man, go
Yeah,
home.
Patch is definitely he's pushing on you to
Question,
leave,
Lou.
and he snaps you out of your enchantment, your self enchantment, and you look down, you see him, he's like, "Get out!" Yes, go
Yeah.
ahead, Sage.
By looking at what's going on, can we determine whether it's this gray cloud that's causing this?
What you
No.
can determine is that at some point there is. It looks like a sort of like a dirty bomb gas attack. But what's happening? What Seraph is doing is the oddity. It looks like this swirling cloud of particulates. That's what it looks like. It looks like glitter. Is just swirling around him, and as this thing is breaking down, unfortunately the gas is building so that he has to envelop it more, and by enveloping it more, It looks like it's expanding. Because apparently I can't say it's expanding.
So it looks to us as though this gray cloud that came from nowhere is trying to contain it, but because it's trying to contain it, it's expanding.
No, what it looks like is that a bomb. This is a secondary explosion about to detonate.
Okay, so with that in mind, because I don't know what's really going on,
Right.
obviously I follow suit with what was said before, and everybody get the fuck out.
All right, so Shiori's already waiting outside. She's like, well, should be nice hunting around here.
Did everybody get out?
Orion is still like, I want to
I
go
would-
home.
Is
No,
anyone
when
else?
you said
No.
when you said he snapped me out of it,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
probably
I'm
would've
just
gotten
kidding.
out.
And Morgan is leaving or staying?
I wrote you.
He wrote
Oh,
you.
okay. I got you. All right. So Morgan is already gone.
Oh.
So you all, everyone now is at what you would estimate to be a minimum safe distance, Sarah.
All right. Everyone's out, so minimum safe distance.
Mhm.
Okay. I stop and I fall back towards the front door, but I also
Are you gonna?
fully solidify
Okay, so you're gonna fully solidify just outside.
just inside the front door.
Just inside the front door. All right. So here's what the rest of you see, and even Morgan, because assuming that you're helping but still keeping the crazy Ivan,
Yeah.
because that's how you are. So
Yeah.
let's just let's
Catching
forego
people
that.
up.
He's just like, what's going on over here? You all right? All right. He's like, that's my spleen. Shut up. You'll be fine. He's like, I have to see this. All right. So, in the Terminator, what was that? The last shitty Terminator that he did. The
I haven't
Dark
seen
Fate?
Dark Fate. Yeah, I
Dark
haven't
Fate.
seen that one.
What was it? The Rev 9 where he reforms. That's how I.
Yeah.
That's how I see you forming. So
Okay.
if that's cool with you, because you are, you are those miniature robots. So you form as you form, and this thing, you stop containing it. It expands outward. As it expands outward, it encompasses the entirety of the inside of this place. The cloud then it collapses in on itself, and you can see the yellowish the yellowish brown vapor form a similar figure that the flames did at the other restaurant, and it looks like it's looking around, and then it completely disappears. Like it forms like a little mushroom cloud as it's collapsing in on itself and hits the ground and spreads out and completely vanishes.
The fuck?
And I've definitely recorded all of that.
When
and any data I could pick up.
the aftermath is that in the entirety of it weakened, it corrupted the structure. So you're looking at the inside of the walls like are disintegrated to the beams to the wood shell, and then they just start falling in on its own weight and collapses.
Okay, so I am going to.
So you guys are
Form into
staring
a
at Rev 9.
I form into a swarm and I fly out and up because I don't know how dangerous I am at the moment.
Okay, so Rev 9 just looks around. He's just like, and flies straight up. The three of you are like, what?
I'm gonna be like, well, I guess there goes one of the local superheroes.
Yeah, you can't make that assumption at all, but you can say that. That's fine. So he's
That's
like,
what I'm saying. I don't
he's
know,
like,
brother.
says the local superhero. Thank God he didn't murder me.
Well,
I mean,
one thing's for sure, that if not for that thing that just took off, we probably would have been all adversely affected by this thing. In the aftermath,
Mhm.
if
Yeah,
we
we'll come
can
to you
take a
next,
look
Orion.
at the damage
Mm-hmm.
that was caused, was it damage like a burn damage? Was it
No,
like
it was like a corrosive acid.
corrosive
Yep.
acid?
Mm-hmm. Like a highly corrosive acid.
So we have one effect that was fire. Now we have one effect that was acid.
What was in that blender?
Little fire in the bastard.
so I would actually start.
You are professional idiots, Spanky.
You
I
know
would
where
actually-
that was from.
Yeah.
I would
Yes.
actually start having or ask Crimson Sage to start putting up some tape. We need to get the area cordoned off, and we need to get people.
Your people are inbound in 10 minutes.
I told him, I text him. I already took care of that.
No, they're still inbound, so they're not gonna
Yeah.
be like, "Oh, okay, he took care of it." They're coming in by chopper. So it's not-
Lou.
yes,
Is it,
yes.
I opened the door. Is it like safe enough to go in there?
No, this place is collapsed.
Oh, it collapsed.
Yeah, completely.
I'm gonna.
All right.
The
gonna
only
start-
intact structure is the top of the roof.
And Lou, when I'm helping and I'm bandaging people up, I'm gonna be like, yes, I'm gonna give everyone one of my cards. I need business.
It's like international private eye. Get this shit out of here. No, I'm just kidding.
Dude,
That would be only
professional.
that would be New Yorkers. Okay, so all right, I'm gonna start from the left with Orion. What are you doing?
I'm actually gonna start writing up instructions for the forensics team to kind of look for the little bits of what I would assume would be metal cells,
Okay.
and warning about the nature of it, of the what we just saw, the corrosive nature of what just happened.
Okay. Sage.
Wrap the police tape around
Mm-hmm.
so I could keep the onlookers or any looky-loos
Yeah.
from going anywhere near this place.
This
And
is
also preserve the crime scene.
this is
Dude, you have a wolf.
this is roadside stuff, so it's not like it's not it's not foot trafficked. So it has a small parking lot to the left and the right of it. You know, like it's one of those places that people drive by and stop for refreshments and bathroom. So it's not like a chain or
Like a
anything like that.
diner.
It's- No, it's not a
Dark-
diner. It's just it's California, so it's a coffee house.
All right.
So it's one of those hippie commune coffee houses, and all right, so you're wrapping that around. But I would agree with Seraph in that your wolf is pretty much is the real deterrent, not the tape. It's like, is that a wolf? Dude, get a gun. It's California. We can't have guns. Get one anyway. All right.
Throw in some weed.
It's like,
wow.
does this smoke bowls, man? All right, but Patch, what are you doing?
I am trying to figure out what that guy could have had in that blender,
Mm-hmm.
because now this is my train of thought. They're using this whatever the spellcaster is using the environment to cause his damage. The first time it was the gas pipe underneath the food place,
Mm-hmm.
and now it's an acid. So it's using rudimentary elements in its environment to cause this attack and this damage. So, I mean, I'm assuming that whatever was in that blender had an acidic base that it enhanced to cause the damage that it just did now.
Okay, that's an assumption.
It's my
Not one that
assumption.
I will
That's-
confirm nor deny.
No, it's my theory. So, we're out in the middle of nowhere.
Yep.
We're in a freaking little coffee outside of the road. What the hell are these guys actually in that we keep getting attacked by this kind of phenomenon?
How the hell did they keep tracking us?
And that's what's like freaking me out now, because I know these guys are never gonna come near my house.
He's like, I got kids.
Fuck that shit. Do you know how expensive my
That would
house
be
is? In the spot that it is in fucking San Diego, there's no fucking way they're coming near my house.
Yeah, family and wife and children notwithstanding.
Just
He's
make
like,
sure
my
you have insurance
house.
for the kids. Then you can buy your property again.
All right,
over.
so we're gonna. I'll go to Morgan.
Go ahead, Morgan.
I'm gonna pull out my notepad, and since I know the entire mathematical world, I'm gonna try to write a formula so I can recreate the energy from this fucking medallion, so they can stop fucking chasing me.
Okay.
Be like, oh, they're still following me.
It's like, you're all right. Spleen's fine. Good. I got to work. All right. Seraph, you're how high in the air?
I went for. Let me check my altitude limits.
He went up 5 bags and a split.
What?
He's
Yeah.
high.
High as camel nuts. Yeah, why not?
All right. None of that made sense.
500,
That's high.
500 feet.
Okay.
High as giraffe balls. Yeah, there you go.
Them some high balls. All right.
500 feet.
All right. Are you doing anything specific once you reach that altitude?
Self-diagnostic, checking for chemical analysis of my own form,
Mhm.
radiation, making sure everything is intact and
Okay.
working. Doing damage assessment.
Okay. The
And-
damage assessment is minimal. It's only 50 to your SDC, so that's reparable. There's some systemic damage to the blast site portion of your body. The portion of it where you covered the container to shield it from the blast, that damage is going to be significant to repair.
Okay.
So realize there's gonna be more. The radiation is almost, the radiation signature is almost identical to the noodle place. It's more highly concentrated, and it was charged. There was a difference in the mechanism to trigger it. You weren't able to figure out the mechanism to trigger it. You guys just assumed there was fire from the basement gas line. But this one, there is no gas line. It came from one cylinder. It's one container. So it was the blender itself. But there was an electrostatic, a powerful electrostatic charge that was the triggering mechanism this time. You're able to assess that it was actually the blender itself, the electricity that was pulled into the machine as it was whirling. So it caused those lances of electricity to flow through it and charge the container.
Hmm. Okay. Chemical signature the same, radiation signature the same.
The acid it's highly corrosive, but it is plant based.
It is California. Too many vegans.
Plant-based and electric, so plasma based off of the electricity, and a chemical based off of a plant in a human food consumption facility that uses plants. I relay this information to Patch.
Okay, so when you get that information dumped into your gauntlet, which sort of confirms your theory. The plant-based acid is once you break down its nucleuses or nuclei or whatever. Once you break down its chemicals, it is, and I don't even know why I'm looking at my forearm. I'm just seeing you do it. So it's the chemical compound is a caffeine.
Caffeine?
Yeah, caffeine is an acid. So
it amplified the
Yes.
caffeine to the point where it became destructive.
it's highly corrosive. Which caffeine can be in concentrated when it's highly concentrated.
That's why people catch strokes. Too much.
So you're saying I should drink more coffee?
Like them Chinese people that used to drink balls.
I think he's saying I should take less less of those energy shots. That's what he's
No,
AWL. Balls. It's a pure guarana drink, pure caffeine.
no, that's crazy.
A lot of Asians were dying from that shit. Yeah, we gotta find gold.
Okay.
Staying up
Anyway.
3 days.
Okay.
Yeah. So I asked her if he's okay.
He's taking
Suffered some damage.
some significant damage to his systems.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell him this is what I'm gonna do. Are you safe? Can you come back to us?
I am checking now.
If you are safe, let me know. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lift my arm up with a piece of my armor, and you just hide underneath the gauntlet, okay? And I'll just make it seem like you was just a thing I did. Understand?
Okay, Dad.
All right. So just let me know if it's safe enough to do that.
That's what I'm checking. I'm making sure that there's no negative effects.
Yeah.
Wait,
Aside from your
Being
damage
no
assessment,
surprises.
there's no toxic levels of radiation. The acid itself it is no longer it's inert. So
Okay.
you're able to fly back down.
Okay.
Okay. So what happens? You guys are trying to make your assessments, and Patch does. What was it? He does a little Michael Jackson move. He's like, and the thing, and that cloud of particulates, they go right into his gauntlet. So it does seem like it emanated from Patch.
Guys! Oh,
So, thank Patch. Thank you, Mr. Acosta. We owe you one. We appreciate your assistance.
Seraph gets jealous and kills you all.
In front of us, looking, we're seeing what's going on.
Right.
So I'm going to assume it's him.
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. That's the assumption at this point.
Yeah.
Rev, he created
know.
Rev 9, and he's going to kill humanity until a little Mexican girl saves everybody.
Steve bites her head off.
Little Mexican girl that was having visions of the Virgin Mary, right?
Okay.
All right. So turn towards Orion and towards Morgan, and I'm
You
like,
can hear the choppers coming in.
why is it that every time you two seem to go to a location, something like this happens? Are you guys being tracked?
No, we're part of an action film.
I'll let him know that the first time this happened, I wasn't present. The only common factor for all three incidents is Morgan.
You did.
So turn towards.
Just so that we're clear. Everyone that was in the restaurant at the time of the explosion, which would be all of you, knew and saw and heard the thing turn to in Morgan's direction, but it could either be you, Sage, or Morgan, because you were virtually at the same position. And he says, you will not stop us. That you heard before the explosion, before Seraph enveloped him and absorbed the shock, the impact, thus saving your lives.
So
Damn, 3 laws of robotics.
I go to Morgan. I approach Morgan. I go, Morgan, I need permission to search you.
So what?
I mean, from top to bottom. There's something either you're carrying or that's with you, or you have
Lou, you got
something
music?
on you.
Okay, I'm gonna let you know. 1, you do not touch me. 2, I told you people back at the police precinct when you were doing the gibberish with all the script. I told you that I was being followed. I am being hunted, and I'm wearing this medallion to protect me.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. That's funny.
I'm gonna
I'm gonna go to everybody. Did I not say this?
I'm
Am I the only one that's listening?
I'm gonna tell Crimson Sage. Yes, he did say that.
Oh yeah.
So
I'm gonna be like, I don't know nothing.
All right,
But he's
Sarah,
hyper.
Sarah from
He's like,
Patch
I wanna
wouldn't
give
know
him,
any
like, a
of
tranquilizer or
that.
something.
It would just be Orion and Sage that would.
all right, so I turn towards Orion then, and I go. So then, so then, why is he supposed to be stuck to your hip? Why?
That's the order.
If we already knew, if you already knew this, I mean, why is he coming with us? And he has to be stuck to your side.
Because that's the
That's what
orders
your
we
boss
have.
orders. Yeah, from the high up.
So in other words, he's literally trying to take out both of you then, without trying to take out you both. Because that's what it seems like. Because everywhere you go, all these things are happening.
Can I hear this?
Yes,
Yeah,
you're hearing this.
There's
Yes, we're hearing this, and I'm recording it.
The little British dude just flipped out.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna make sure I was hearing all of this.
He's gonna publish it on TikTok.
Oh no, there's people.
So
there
the
are
reason-
people. By the way, there are bystanders doing this.
On the phone.
Yeah,
I'm
whole-
gonna stop.
That whole not drawing attention thing.
I'm gonna stop. I see that. I'm gonna be like, we'll talk later.
Why don't you just hack their phones and erase it?
You can.
And on that note-
can you erase?
And on that,
Can you erase live streams?
you can stop them.
Yeah.
Actually, what I was gonna do was pull out a virus and shut all their cameras down. They just transmit it.
I'm gonna pull out my phone, and I'm gonna use the simple app called Bing, so I can get everyone goddamn IP address in the damn area. All these fucking phones. And then I'm gonna crash them.
Okay.
I'm gonna be
Do not
pissed.
have anything.
Hey, so
I'll be right back.
Nah, you don't have to worry about it, Sarah. You got firewalls. You forget who your daddy is.
No, but the Thing app tells you what it is.
I
If he
go.
looked up, I'm gonna be like, oh, that's not him. He's not a phone.
So I go over to Mr. Acosta, and I'm like, listen, Mr. Acosta, I highly apologize for all this stuff going on.
Yeah.
Apparently, you've been pulled into this mess. I'm still trying to figure out how he's the key to all these things. And that just this right now.
I just
Patch?
can't. I can't wait to
give you-
get my hands on Mr. Johnson. That's all.
I give you I give you all the data I have on this guy, Morgan,
Uh huh.
and his family that I've managed to get thus far.
You talking about
He's
Morgan?
an- Yep,
Yeah.
he's an
Okay.
adopted child, no original parents in file, extremely high IQ for a human. His adopted family's genealogy seems fabricated and too perfect.
So I pull Sace to the side and I reiterate everything Sarah just fed me.
Okay.
Wait, what? So
But I'm a genius.
he's not who he claims he is, in other words.
No, he is exactly who he claims he is because that's all he knows.
Wait. What? I mean, like, you just see me completely confused right now.
So I, guess, Big Mike, tell me everything again because it's late.
Okay.
And I'm tired.
Yeah, same. So Morgan isn't Morgan. What's his full name here?
Cornwallis.
Cornwallis.
Morgan Cornwallis. Yes. Morgan Cornwallis was adopted by the Cornwallises. He has no parents on file. He is noted as having exceedingly high IQ for a human. There's been no public notice of him at all his entire life, and his family's the Cornwallis genealogy seems fabricated. It's too perfect. It's too right for any human bloodline. Something is off with it.
So we could be dealing with a sleeper.
I don't know. I'm not into all that James Bond stuff. All I do is fly planes and make computers and research information.
Okay.
And have kick-ass gauntlets. Give me that.
Question: is there any way you can provide that information and encrypt it?
So I go into my pocket, pull out a thumb drive.
He's
And
carrying like
I
a
put the
million
information on the thumb drive.
Okay, he hands
Thank you.
hands you that thumb drive.
So I put that information away. At this point, if the rest of the crew got here already, I'm gonna pull Morgan to the side. You know, Morgan, can you come here for a second? I want to talk to you for a second.
Put you in a headlock.
What did he did? Ultimate headlock?
Ultimate headlock.
Come
I
here, you
can
bloody
still
pissed off.
hear
I'm having-
them.
Mm-hmm.
I can still hear them.
Okay.
That's fine.
Step
I go to Morgan. I go, listen. My intent is not to touch you or without your permission or anything like that. That's not how I operate. I want to do this by the book, but I am asking for your permission to be able to search you. Obviously, not here right now, but there is something definitely on you, or that you're carrying, or that you got tagged with that allows for these things to continuously find you.
It's not.
And we need
It's not technology. They're using.
we need to figure it out.
They're using magic to find.
That's fine. That's fine. But even magic is tethered to something, like a curse. You have an item on you that they're allowing themselves to be able to track you down.
Right now, I'd like to go back to the police precinct and then recreate this damn medallion, so I can hide from them.
Okay, you'll have the time to do that. But we really need to find out what this thing is. Because there's something on you or about you right now that's allowing them to track you. Because like you said, they're targeting you. We need to find out why. Because like Orion said, you're the common cause.
They're assuming
Huh?
that they are assuming that I forgot because I saw your pops in the background. Fuck.
What?
I was thinking of something.
So
but
pause
that's why
my
I
mic,
was like,
please.
oh, shit. He derailed my train and shit.
Wow. What are you, Thomas the
Excuse
Tank
me.
Engine? Keep
They're
on talking.
assuming- You were saying that they're assuming something about you.
Yeah. Nothing on me is traceable, and not even my phone.
That you know of.
It's a
But
black
tell me,
phone.
how do they?
Hey Lou, I scanned him.
It's a black phone.
What I'm
It's
saying
second
is-
generation.
What I'm okay,
They
but
didn't
then
even
you're
have
saying
this
again it's
yet.
technology. Okay, you're the genius, right? Didn't you just say that technology is not what they're using to track you down? That
They're
it's magic?
not. There's a possibility that the tether might be to me in general. It's not items that I have.
Hey Lou,
Yeah, I heard you.
So if it is tethered to you, then that means there's something physical on you or of you.
We can go.
At least from what I understand how magic works.
We need a lab to check it out. It's that simple.
That's all I'm asking, because we need to figure it out. You're the epicenter right now, and honestly, you're our only living lead that I know of.
Oh joy.
Yeah,
So
exactly how everybody's feeling right now.
let's go back and see if we can get ourselves to.
Well, we gotta wait. We kind of have to wait.
The
So the
helicopters
team comes
finally arrive, and they land not too far away.
Do I have to be here? I'm totally asking.
Asking.
Witness. Character statement.
I'll send him
Unfortunately, because of being a witness to the situation, we all have to be here to give our report.
I'm gonna send him a yes.
All right, so I guess I lean up against my
so-
car and wait. for
Okay, so
whatever
Brian, a
I'm-
bunch of agents come out. There's two GFTF helicopters arrive. A bunch of agents come out, and they start the crowd control procedures, and the MESU techs come out as of the second one with their gear. Brian is with them, and he's just like, didn't you guys just leave this party? What's going on? It's like, are you just gonna wreck every place to eat around here?
Yeah, apparently so. It's round
Next
4.
time- yeah, next
No,
time
round 3.
we're gonna try a taco truck next time.
Like I swear to God, if you do that,
Yeah, I'm gonna
No, not Pancho's taco truck.
I'm gonna kind of pull
Creeper.
Patch to the side.
you're gonna pull who?
Patch.
Patch. Okay.
Patch.
Acosta. Mr. Acosta.
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna ask him about what is essentially Seraph, but the swarm of metal. I'm gonna ask him if it's living metal.
If it's living metal, no.
By the way, you would kind of understand that question because of the transmission of the fusion technology
Yeah.
that I gave you, so you would understand generally why I would be asking that.
Right. No, I tell you, no, it's not. It's not living metal. It's not the same.
All right, and I'll basically tell him I called you over here to officially. The reason I called you over here was to give you a paper to fill out for your statement.
Okay. So I take the form and I fill it out.
Spanky, what the fuck?
What? Oh, sorry. I was messing around with my D&D Beyond sheet. I didn't think it would come up here because it's not a D&D game.
It doesn't matter. It transmits to whatever's open on Roll20.
Yeah, I was like, what? What are you talking about? Oh,
Okay, keep going.
Yeah. So like I said, I filled out the form. I let them know that the technology for that living metal you're talking about, it's not the same as what I was using.
Thank you.
Okay.
Uh,
So, Brian goes to Sage, and he's like, "Okay, so what do we got? Is this the same MO?"
Sort of. I wasn't there for the first one. I saw the tapes. It was a very similar thing, but the difference was the epicenter of this. It looked like it was coming from a blender.
He's like, "Come
But
again?"
we didn't get to. I tell him it looked like it was coming from a blender. I got to hear a threat. I'm trying to call, saying something about "you cannot stop us." I think it was directed at Morgan, but I can't be too sure because
That little British kid?
Huh?
That British kid?
Yeah, the British kid. And it just turns out that all the incidents involve him too. He's
So
been at every one of them.
So he's the common thread.
Right now, it seems so. And
So all right. So that notwithstanding,
The thing
that's not why I'm here. I'm
No.
trying to figure out what this is. So
this thing exploded, and somehow Agent Acosta was able to react in time to shield it with some tech that he has. It prevented severe damage to the patrons, which had allowed us the time necessary to pull everybody out. But during that time, the containment was failing, and the individual inside seemed to be decaying or melting away, I guess, and it created this gas.
So wait, did it come from the? You said it came from the blender. Where's the?
Yeah,
It was one of the
pieces
customers.
inside. No, from the barista. The barista is the one that's deceased. Is the only casualty.
So the barista did this. Like,
Ooh, I did. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I put my theory in the report.
okay. No, he's just like I don't understand. So you think that guy was like an agent, an assassin of some kind?
Honestly, you're not gonna believe me, but I would say
I don't believe you at all. No.
I would equivocate it to a forced agent. And by that I mean I believe he was possessed.
It's like seriously, like Exorcist
Yes.
possessed or something
Yeah,
like that.
like exorcism possessed, yes. And the explosion happened. He gets contained. He turns into this gas. The shielding that Mr. Acosta used, he then removed it to block the doorway from any of that to escape, and it caused all the damage that you see now. But everybody was at a safe distance by the time that happened.
And how do you feel? You were you affected by any gas or the explosion?
Just a bit scorched. I don't know. Nobody's taking a Geiger reading to me, so I'm not sure.
As soon as you say nobody's taking it, he's like, like, because he's wearing an environmental suit, you know, one of those hazmat suits, and he's like, no, he said you're clean. So, but you were
except for
affected by
the minor scorch marks on my stuff, on my clothing. But the difference is that the last event was fire. This event seemed more like a corrosive acid. It formed into what seemed to be like a humanoid silhouette of the barista. It looked around, and then it just dissipated completely. And that was it. Then, of course, the damage that was done because of the blast, everything caving in.
He's like, great. And if they had surveillance in this place, that's gone.
Maybe.
All right. Well, we're going to need some time to work. You probably should check in and get yourself checked out. You and your team should probably get yourselves checked out.
Since I did write down and make a point to write down the Geiger counter readings, I would actually be able to include those in the report.
Sure.
I offer the medical checkout to Mr. Acosta. Mr. Acosta, you're free to come with us to get medically cleared if you so wish. I have to offer just because it's protocol, but you don't necessarily have to come with us.
It's free.
It would be odd if I didn't, right?
Yeah, being that I offered it to you, yeah.
So I'll go with them.
So
You weren't thinking out loud, were you?
No, I was thinking to myself.
Like, it would
So
be
show him
thank-
towards the helicopter and have Shiori follow.
Yeah. So there's
I'll
a
let-
team that's checking, that's scanning the patrons that were injured, that you guys administered first aid to, and anyone that was in that area that was pointed out. So they're doing their radioactive scans, making sure that they're clean, if they have any residue, all that stuff. So they're doing a full battery of tests for those. There were about 25 patrons, including yourselves. So that's what they're doing at the chopper. Okay. So final thoughts before I close this out. We'll start with Orion.
I would start with putting in the report the acknowledgement that Morgan was at all 3 incidents and reiterating that he said he was being tracked. I would
It's your fault.
I would recommend if we have any experts in psionics or psychic activity to be called in on this, because
Did you report that, Patch?
Yes, I put all that stuff
Okay.
in there.
All right. So then, yeah.
Yeah, so being that it seems to be psychic in nature, that we should probably bring in an expert in psychic activity.
You had one, but he refuses to show up.
I know. I know, right? Because
He's a full-time one.
because these incidents seem to continuously happen whenever we start to make progress in investigating it, and it always seems to involve individuals that are already there. So I would suspect, I mean, obviously it would be a major assumption, but suspect psychic mind control being utilized in this.
Okay. All right. Sage, final thoughts.
Yeah, first order of business is, like I was telling Morgan, once we get back to base, we need our experts to go over him from head to toe. Something that is on him, he carries, his hair, something is literally the tether to this phenomenon, because it's too perfect. You know, every place that he's been has been attacked and pretty much annihilated, or a major ruckus. Chipotle, there were victims, including Detective Johnson. The noodle place, the place burnt down. This place, the place burnt down because of acid. Just luckily enough, there's been no casualties except for the one that was possessed in all 3 cases. Well, with the exception of the first one. But him being the epicenter to all of that is our only real lead. So in determining what they're using to track him, we may be able to reverse that.
Okay.
And maybe set up something where we can catch this psychic thing that's causing all this shit. Even if it is psychic, because I still haven't completely disclosed, given up on the fact that it may even be magic, or a combination of all 3, tech, magic, and psychic. You know, so at this point, unfortunately for us, we got to protect Morgan.
Wow,
you,
you
see
said
this, you see
unfortunate.
that smile? He's just like, yes, protect me.
Because, I mean,
Y'all are my bodyguards.
In protecting him, well, that's what my job is, you know, to put myself in danger for others. But in this case, I'm literally putting myself in danger for others without realizing what the fuck I'm putting myself in danger for. You know? So, yeah, no. I'd at least like to have a clue.
Okay.
At least
You can't afford a clone.
at least with normal threats, okay, I need a Kevlar vest. I need to have scanning of the perimeter check for weapons. This is like coming at us from whatever random angle happens to be grabbed in the scenario and turning them into a supernatural
Like
threat.
next thing
We
it's
need
gonna
to-
be a fucking
All right. So final thought for Patch.
flying kite by a little girl in
We
the
need a-
park.
we need a rabbit
What the fuck?
Final thought for Patch.
All right, so I got sucked into some strange shit that I can't take home. Me and my son here need to figure out how to work around with these guys. The frick?
Crack.
I don't even know.
If you don't have anything right now, that's fine. We'll pick it up the next time, as you're trying to suss out how you got roped into this shit. All right,
He should ask some choice words from Detective Johnson.
Morgan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Some
you're
extremely choice
muted,
words.
Mike.
It's like, you motherfucker.
All right, so final thoughts for Morgan.
I'm gonna isolate the signal that I got off the medallion originally and recreate the protection, and if I can, duplicate the medallion for everyone else in our group.
Okay, so you do have lore, right? Lore magic.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the understanding that you have is that what you can do is not enough to replicate it. You don't have the requisite abilities to do that.
But the energy signature, I'm gonna try to duplicate it using science.
Totally understand, but you do understand the principles of magic. Don't necessarily correlate with science.
Yeah.
So, what created this? And this is something that I'm telling you as your character is coming to you, like you're spinning your wheels on how to recreate it. The exact nature of magic is rooted in the belief of the impossible, not necessarily scientific. Scientific is, prove, disprove, prove again, prove, disprove. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Yeah.
with magic, it's literally reality warping.
That you're willing and true.
Yeah, and it's reality warping. So the connection with science is tenuous at best. So while you may be able to recreate the energy signature, you don't know that it would have it would work. It would have the same effect as when Papa Chango gave it to you.
So I'm gonna still try to see trial and error. If
No,
they
no,
come-
and you can do that. I'm not discouraging you from doing it. What I'm saying is that because your character is a natural genius, because your IQ is so high, you're running through these scenarios in your head
Yeah.
as you're trying to come to that. Being able to recreate the energy signature is going to require equipment. It's going to require money.
Yeah.
It's going to there are a lot of components that you don't currently have
No.
on you. Your laptop's not going to cut it.
No,
to be
that's
able
what
to
I said.
recreate
Go
it.
back to the police precinct.
So
use their shit.
there's going to be you're gonna have to spin your wheels on how you're going to get people to allow you to use their shit to create what you want, or buy it yourself. And buying it yourself,
It's gonna be rough.
is not really going to be an option, an immediate option.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because
So-
like with everybody else, he's freezing everybody's assets.
I didn't freeze anybody's assets,
All right,
just
so
yours.
Lou,
So Seraph, your
Did I-
final thoughts.
yeah, did I pick up anything? When I was like scanning him, frequencies, radiation.
For scanning
Energy signature.
Morgan, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I actually responded to you.
Oh, okay.
So
All right.
given that it was just a basic role, because there's
Mm-hmm.
really no we're ad hocing this basically. So
Yeah.
I'm just using a basic perception roll, and
Mhm.
we'll do it that way. But for what you were able to pick up, there was no traces, nothing abnormal about his biology, nothing abnormal about what he's wearing, nothing abnormal about the laptop, because you guys had his laptop for at least 12 hours. So you were able
Right.
to soup to nuts its components and memory. Because he's still not able to create that 2056 encryption yet, but he's damn
Okay.
close.
All right. Um. Yeah. So I've got nothing. Uh. I'm going to look more into his family.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And see what I can find.
Okay. So with that, we are going to bring this fun-filled adventure to a close. For Orion, Crimson Sage, Patch, Morgan, and Seraph, we bid you a fond farewell. Till next time, peace out.